A very good morning, students. This is our first class and we are going to take first topic, that is hardware of computer. Now, I'm sure you all are familiar with the block diagram of the computer. Now, basically how computer works. It works, the block diagram itself shows you the working of the computer. You have input, that is the instructions, the data which we have. The computer processes it and then we get the output. The required output is stored. Now in this topic we are going to concentrate, we are going to learn about the hardware part of the computer. Computer works on hardware and software, but this topic we will see different parts, different types and different devices which we use to input and output and store your data.
As we can see, computer system to function, it needs hardware as well as software. Now what is hardware? Hardware are the physical components of the computer which we can see and we can touch. Whereas the software are the instructions which are given to the computer by the programmers, which we call programs. Now without these programs, your hardware will not work. It is just like how we have our physical parts of body like hands or legs. But it will not function if our brain doesn't give the commands. Same way, even for computer system to work, we need hardware as well as software. Now in this topic, since we are going to learn about hardware of computer system, let's concentrate on the different parts of hardware. Now hardware are again divided into two. There are two kinds of hardware. One is external hardware and internal hardware. Now external hardware is the hardware which we can see, which is outside the CPU. Like you have your mouse, you have your keyboard, the monitor, all these are part of external hardware. Whereas you have internal hardware which are basically inside the CPU. Now if you look at external hardware, again there are three kinds of external hardware. Firstly, there are input devices, which we also call as input peripherals because they are connected. So input peripherals, output peripherals and the storage devices. So let's see what are input devices. The devices used to enter data into the computer are called input devices or input peripherals. Now an input device takes data and instructions from us and then converts them into binary form that computer can understand. There are various input devices which we use in our day-to-day lives, and some of the common ones are as follows. A keyboard is the primary and the most widely used input device. It is used to type text into the computer. It has alphabet keys, number keys and special keys. It can be connected to the CPU box through a cable or it can be also wireless. Now you can see three different layouts on the screen of a keyboard. The most commonly used is the QWERTY layout, which is the first one. The second layout which you can see is Dvorak keyboard, which was created in 1930s, and this layout places the most commonly used letters in the home row. The third one is a Kolmar, which is a layout for touch typing in English. It is designed for efficient touch typing in English. Now the most common one is the QWERTY, and this keyboard was designed keeping in mind the way a typewriter was. So the keys are exactly how we had it in the typewriter. The next commonly used input device is mouse, and we all have used it. A computer mouse is a pointing device as it helps to draw, color, play games, and point different things on the computer. The arrow on the monitor is called the mouse pointer, and it shows the movement of the mouse. When you type, the shape of the arrow changes. Now there are different types of mouse which are available. There is a ball mouse which is now outdated. Nobody uses it now. The most commonly used right now is an optical mouse, and it has a red light under it and is commonly used these days. The optical mouse is faster and smoother than the ball mouse. Also, there is a wireless mouse which is not attached to the CPU box with a wire. It communicates with the computer using signals and works in the same way as the television remote. Next is the trackball. Now trackball again is a pointing device just like mouse, but it has a ball on top that can rotate freely. So instead of moving the device like a mouse, you roll the ball with your finger to move the mouse pointer. Hence, it is also referred as upside down mouse. A touchpad is a touch sensitive pad that allows you to control the mouse pointer by making a motion with your finger. It is also called as a trackpad. Touchpads are common on laptop computers, and they have two buttons which work like the left and right button of mouse. A touch screen is a touch sensitive computer display screen that can also act as an input device. It can identify the presence and position of a touch within the display region. Touch screens are easy to use and are often found in public places such as ATMs, ticket collection terminals, theaters, and airports. It is used extensively in design of appliances like mobile phones. Next input device we have is microphone. A microphone is used to record different sounds into the computer. It is also called as a mic. Right now what I'm recording is through mic. I'm using a microphone. Some devices have inbuilt microphone too. So you don't have to connect them separately. They are there just to use. Next device is joystick. Now joystick is an input device consisting of a stick that is attached to a base. The stick moves and controls the movement of the pointer and some other display symbols on the screen. Joysticks are commonly used for playing video games. A scanner is a device that is used for converting printed document or photos into electronic formats, meaning they convert hard copies to soft copies. It captures pictures and text from papers and makes their digital copy. This digital copy can be edited, sent as attachment through emails or even saved. Thus, the printed material is available for editing and display on the computer. Now, there are various types of scanners like flatbed scanners and handheld scanners. The most commonly used are flatbed scanners. A barcode reader is a device used to read barcodes. These are commonly used in shops and supermarkets. Now, a barcode is a small image of lines. They're thick and thin lines that is placed on a product so that computer can get the price of the product and other information about it. A barcode reader is also used for many other purposes like taking inventories in retail stores or checking out books from the library or tracking manufacturing or shipping details of a product. A QR code is a two-dimensional code that consists of an array of black and white squares. Now, QR code is short form for Quick Response Code. You must have noticed QR codes on business cards or billboards or products and so on. These codes are very popular as it has become very convenient to generate, scan and read them. You can easily generate a QR code online for free. Many apps are available that let people scan a QR code using a smartphone and read the information it contains. QR codes can store more information than a barcode, and no special scanner is required for scanning them. Next input device is optical mark recognition. Now, if you look at the sample paper test on the screen, I'm sure it is very familiar to you, because if you have answered any competitive national exam, this is how you answer it on this kind of paper, wherein the options are given. Mostly the questions are multiple choice test questions, and you need to answer it on a sheet like this. Now, this is called as optical mark recognition. It is a device used to recognize marks on specially printed forms and sheets. It reads predefined positions and records where marks are made on the form. It then transmits this information to the computer. This technology is used where a large number of hand-filled forms need to be processed quickly. An OCR reader, that is optical character recognition reader, is a device that scans or goes through the text character by character. It analyzes the scanned character, recognizes it and produces the electronic or digital copy, just like a scanner. It is widely used to convert books or documents into electronic files and to computerize a record-keeping system in an office. MICR, that is Magnetic Ink Character Recognition Reader, is a device used to read characters printed in a special font using magnetic ink. Now, mostly this reader is used by banks to process the checks. Now, if you look at a check, the bottom line wherein you can see the check number or the branch code is printed by using this special kind of ink. Now, it helps prevent forgeries, and it also simplifies the process of clearance of checks. This technology is mostly used by banks. A webcam or web camera is a digital camera that is usually connected to the computer through a USB interface. Now, webcams come with a software that allows the user to record video and send the video on the web. Many laptops come with, mostly all the laptops nowadays come with inbuilt web cameras and the microphones too. Next we have is a digital camera. Now a digital camera is used to capture images or videos and store them in digital format. It displays the captured images immediately on screen. The images or videos captured through this digital camera can be transferred to the computer and you can do editing or modification, and the images can be printed on the paper whenever you wish. Now the amount of the detail that a camera can capture is called as a resolution. Now what is this resolution? It is usually measured in pixels. Now the more pixels a camera has, the more detail it can capture, and the larger picture can be printed without getting distorted. However, the resolution is not only the parameter that one should look when you judge a camera. There are even other things. Next, we have biometric devices. Now, biometric devices are the devices which are capable of identifying a person's identity based on their distinctive physical characteristics. These days, many biometric devices are available that can scan and detect a person's fingerprints, face, voice, hands, and so on for identification and access control at various places like offices or passport office, airports, and so on. They help in enhancing the security as compared to a system of login IDs and the passwords. Now these biometric devices are mostly used at workplaces, maybe to mark attendance, airports for enabling quick recognition of passengers, at banks for accessing the lockers, or at offices for accessing secured areas like your service server rooms, etc., and also for unlocking mobile phones. These are the input devices. Our next video will be on the output devices and the storage devices.